Should you buy a Mac Mini or self-host? Ooh, someone's getting into AI agents. AI agents. Should you buy a Mac? All those people right now with Mac Minis, they're looking at it now going, oh, now that the OpenClaw hype was gone, that was a big hype. No one's using OpenClaw anymore. Everyone's sitting around with these Mac Minis. They're like, what can I repurpose this for? Do I self-host my stuff on it? What can I do with it? So we'll talk first about what you could do with the Mac Minis, and then we'll talk about better ways to self-host. You're gonna put Claude Code and Hermes on it. That's gonna be like, we went yesterday into a session on how to remote control Claude Code through your mobile phone using the /remote control command. That was yesterday's live stream. Again, we share so much of like secret stuff you could do with Claude. So yesterday's live stream, you guys know how to basically control your Claude Code remotely from your computer. So from there, you can control your Mac Mini using Claude Code safely through the Claude app itself without installing anything extra. And then from there, now you have a remote control computer that you can just leave always on. And he has enough resources that you could load up 36 agents in different sessions. I'm sorry, there's different like I'm sorry, there's you can only do 36 different agents, but from there you can kind of scandalous. Yeah, they can always stay on, they could always build and do stuff, and then you put whatever knowledge, resources, files, everything is file storage. Like everything is, all they're doing is just opening folders and just changing files at the end of the day. And then you're self-hosting. Super simple. This is actually going to be handy because your computer that you're using right now for work, that's important. You are now sharing it with Claude Code and Hermes. So already once you start going into Claude Code and you start running like 10 agents at the same time, it happens in terminal. You can't do it in cowork. Once you're running 10 agents at the same time in terminal, then you're like, oh man, meet this in Chrome is hogging a lot of resources. There's got to be a better way. And you're right, there is a better way. So if you are on, you have to be on Chrome. It's a necessary evil. I say that because it's necessary, and I say it's evil because it sucks because there's no better alternative. It is what it is. So from here, if you go to Tab Suspender on Chrome, because I know a lot of people are on Safari, none of the automations are going to, if you're on Safari, like as your daily browser, you've missed out on so much automation. Why are you logging into websites and doing work? Like Claude has a browser extension that automates everything on the browser, and you could remote control that from your phone. I'll show you that in a moment. So this is Tab Suspender. I'll wait, take a screenshot, and type AI in the chat so I can know who are my AI students that are watching right now. Take a screenshot and type AI in the chat. We're just giving out free AI knowledge right now, stuff I teach in my coaching program. Right now, free because you guys are here. There we go. Carrie is here. Carrie, I'll send you an email. Farmers, is it? Oh, Brown, what's up? Emmanuel, yes. Reg is like, yes. B's like, yes. Limit says, Abdel says it. Jazz says it. All right. I just like to see who's still alive, who's still. Nice. So Tab Suspender, basically, when you have a open tab on Chrome, it is a resource hog. And I know all of us. Let's play a little fun game. Let's play a little fun game. For everyone, please type in the number of every tab on minimum could be anywhere from 1 to 500 megabytes. So there's no way you're doing Chrome with agents and trying to multitask the things that you're trying to do and automate all the stuff on the browsers. So that's why what this does is if it detects a website that has not been open for more than 5 minutes, it will take a screenshot and freeze that page and cut the memory down to 50 megabytes or less so that you can have 1,500 tabs open and not have to worry about it's sucking up all the resources on your computer. Now, this is one. The other thing too is, or is it groups? Let's see if maybe group your tabs. Grouping your tabs is the next powerful thing that you can do to streamline your workflow when you're working with 50 different tabs, as you can see here. So one thing that, if you notice, there are some, if you look at your tabs in your website, sorry, we're gonna get super nerdy here. Okay, Instagram, you got TikTok, you're gonna get the super close one, and then Instagram, you get the super close one too. Okay, cool. So from here, you have a collection of tabs. I'll close this one here. Let's close this. Done. Okay, so I have a collection of tabs here. Just move you over here. That are random. So there may be 2 tabs here that are related. There may be 7 tabs here that are related. So we need to group them. If you take one tab and you right click on it, actually I need that one. So we right click on it and you say add tab to a group. Take a screenshot, take a screenshot, take a screenshot. Don't worry, I'll wait. Nice. And then type AI in the chat. Because by doing this, this is going to help you group lots of those tabs to say organized. So from there, then you're going to add a new group and you're going to say project 1. And then you get to pick a color. I feel like green, money green. And then I can grab other tabs and put them in there. And notice how those tabs light up underneath. And now when I click on project 1, it collapses all of those tabs. So now for project 1, client 1, that task that you have to do 2 weeks that you keep putting off, you can now organize everything here. And then with Tab Suspender, Chrome doesn't become a resource hog. So then you can spend more resources in terminal using Herder to manage your teams of agents. You can only manage teams of agents in terminal. There's many different terminal tools. This is one that we recommend because this actually will allow you to manage multiple sessions, multiple tabs, and then you can close out of the workspace, open it tomorrow, and everything is exactly where you want it. The right spaces, which is a group of tabs, sessions, like we're going to be teaching this in the community next week, and we'll be dumping CMUX. I had a lot of fun with CMUX. CMUX lasted like 3 months. How sad. That had a good run. That's like 3 years in the real world. And it lasted for 3 years in the real world, and now upgraded. And now you got to be up to upgrade. So nice. Okay. What AI agents are you running? I only have 2. Hermes and Claude Code. John, but that's not really agents. Yeah, you're right, because all of my automations are in workflows. I don't leverage agents for anything because agents are the most inefficient way to automate anything. I'll give you a case study. One client's trying to automate everything through Hermes and OpenClaw. He now has to pay $500 every single week because that bill for the automation, it does the automation, answers the emails, does the follow-up, does all that. It's great. But it's costing him $500 a week in tokens, and you're like, oh wow, this can't be the only option. Like, is this really what automation was? I thought it'd just be cheaper. And the answer is yes, because there's a difference between workflow using code versus agents. This is where code will always win, and code is now officially solved. There is nothing you have to learn about coding. Everything is going to be through Claude Code, and Claude's going to write all the automations. I wasted quite a few months and on NAN, downloaded the JSON. By the way, if you have NAN.com Zapier, you can export the automation workflow, the JSON file basically, for example, and you can import that in, or just give it to Claude Code in terminal. I didn't say cowork. I did not say cowork. I did not say Claude in the browser. Toys in the browser, toys like the desktop apps, are just toys. They are not true representatives of what AI automation and agents can really do, which are incredibly powerful. But in order for them to be powerful, we have to give them resources of our computer. That's why everyone's moving into terminal to give Claude and these agents. Claude's not going to be the best. Like there's already, like ChatGPT is already a lot better than per cheaper unit of token, meaning you'll get more runway and usage out of Claude Codex building at the same level than using Fable that will burn all your tokens and stuff like that. And then you got Kimi, which is the same level, if not cheaper. And so that's why for agents, the problem is you can only use one model to do all the actions and automations, and it's all complex. With code and just workflows, this gets into self-hosting. With self-hosting, you can self-host on 2 levels. I mean, self-host is locally. Just go buy a computer. It honestly, it could be any computer. Doesn't have to be Mac. But I will say Mac actually works a lot better. And then from there, you can also get from, I think it's Blue Ocean. They're called Ocean Drops. So is it Blue Ocean or Ocean Drops? It's one of these. DigitalOcean. Yeah, you could get droplets. Droplets on DigitalOcean, these are basically virtual machines. Like these are literally, if you're like, John, my computer is like, I can't buy a new computer, John. It's expensive and I need to do all these agents and automation. Sure, get a droplet. It's a virtual computer that you could get 32 gigs of RAM. You can build get a whole powerful PC, and then you can run your agents here. They're like super cheap and like super powerful, because then you could get like 32 gigs and have 100 agents on there just rocking away and just churning away on projects. It's dangerous. And then you can also get like VP, virtual private. We'll do droplets and railway. Most of all my automations are on railway because I have one railway account, and that's where my CRMs, my content automation app, my course platform, the funnels, basically, and a bunch of BizOp tools, they're all hosted on railway. And I'm self-hosting them. So basically, well, not self-hosting, but basically they're hosted in, not me, because if my house burns down, like that's the last thing that I want to do is like when you're running BizOps tools and stuff like that, stuff that your business runs on, you don't want to self-host this. Like you want to host on a virtual self-hosting tool, which is like Railway. It's super cheap. It's like $20 a month to help host all of these tools from there. You could do Hostinger's like Railway is the best for this one. And then also too, I see a lot of comments in the chat. There's a lot of comments in the chat that people are going, but John, what about this tool? But John, what about that tool? But John, I'm using this. Or John, I already bought the year subscription for that. The answer is, if John has never mentioned the tool on his live streams, you're overpaying for a tool that is costing you time. And so there are better tools. And so these are the best tools. Like you're coming to me for the go-tos. So from there, like Railway's great. And then from agents, like the CRM is fully automated. Like I don't go into it. So to do workflow, like I don't go, it's so weird. I just log in and track the KPIs. I don't go in and do data entry. I don't do like all of it. The CRM is automated. The course platform is automated. I can't even type anymore because who's typing anymore? She uses Whisperflow, which I'm lazy. And then you have your ops, pretty much whatever you use for your ops app, like your project tracker, that's automated. So these tools, because they're self-hosted or they're in Railway, it's just all code. Claude built all the automations, so there's no agents that need to run. And then I have apps that I could log into. And the difference between agents and apps is with apps, I can have a dashboard, I can have an action plan, I can present the data that I need, I can log in and do the actions that I need, and then the actions cost nothing to operate. With agents, you're stuck in Telegram, you're stuck in Slack, you're stuck in Claude. Like that's not an efficient way to use AI, especially with that. It's actually handicapping you. So if you're using Claude and Telegram and you're like, or pretty much Hermes or OpenClaw and Telegram, and you're like, oh, there are better ways that you could move this into a proper app and it could fully automate all of those workflows and drop the cost from like 500. Like my API bill for all my LLM automation is like $50. That's the most people are like shocked about. Like all the automation I do, all the automation workflows is like $50 a month. It's cheaper than most Zapier people's bill because it's all self-hosted on Railway. I built all the tech stack. I'm not dependent on some no-code SaaS tool that can, if I stop paying, then I lose all my data. Like none of that. So from here, people are throwing a lot of the word agents around, and agents with automation, and they make it synonymous with replace this full-time human being. And then they come to me and they're like, I want to do agents and automate this person's full-time job. It can be done. Someone said agents on TikTok 14 times. It must be automated. And you're like, well, what workflows are they doing? And then we break things down to who they are. Every person can be replaced by a knowledge hub, skills, tools, and that's pretty much it. Just every person is just some subject matter expertise. You have access to some tools that you're logging in and out of to move data, input, output, copy, paste. And then you have some skills that you have to do some transformation, do some output. When you reduce all those to code, you can fully replace any human being in a company. And it's terrifying because then once you layer that on, you own your tech stack. We now build dream apps. The dream app is a real new concept. This is a new concept that has never existed before in known history of mankind. Building dream all-in-one apps. This breaks my heart because everyone who is under about 35 on average wants nothing to do with AI. Hates it. And it breaks my heart. I'm like, you guys are missing out on the biggest opportunity for your whole generation. It's like wild. Second thing is what I now offer to clients is, what do you want for your dream all-in-one app? Instead of saying, and we can do this, but we kind of can't do this, and maybe you have to think in the tool. Oh, if Monday.com can do this, or if Go High Level can only do that, or something like that. We scrap that And we start from the base and say, what would you like your dream app to do in your business? And then they say, oh, I would love a dashboard. I woke up in the morning and it told me exactly what I need to do, exactly what my KPIs are. That would be amazing. I wouldn't have to hunt and waste 3 hours a day in my email searching for tasks that I need to do. I wouldn't have to hunt in 14 different apps to fetch information and do some data entry. I don't have to waste basically all these $30 tasks in your business. You as the business owner, manager, or founder don't have to do those tasks, because now everything could be fully automated in a now dream app. So now we're starting from a whole different game now. So this is a whole different, we're now business, for context, we are shipping 60 features a week for some members that we're building their tech stack. Go High Level hasn't shipped one valuable feature in a year that you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. They've never done that. And so we're doing 60 a week. So that means two businesses. One business is on Go High Level. They'll never get an update that will add value to their business for the whole year, guaranteed. But they're still going to pay $3,500 plus another $12,000 to the person who has to manage it or offload it to an agency, versus the business owner who self-hosts, builds their website, CRM, ops, marketing, sales, operations, basically the content, all of that in one. Well, then they can every week, when they find opportunities for automation, they go to Claude, and the next week they have more automations. They have more buttons. Their team becomes more efficient. So every week they compound and become 1% faster, and everyone knows the rule in business. If you are 1% faster, or 1%, if you are always improving by 1%, that compounds over time. That makes you so dangerous. And so that's where we're now building these all-in-one dream apps for business owners who don't have to rent their software from 14 different tools anymore to do their basic operations. That's no longer a thing now.